Champions League Manchester United vs Bayern Munich prediction, team news, lineups preview. With only 90 minutes left to maintain their Champions League credentials, Manchester United host an already qualified Bayern Munich at Old Trafford in their final Group A clash on Tuesday. Both sides were humiliated domestically over the weekend, as the Red Devils were beaten 3-0 at home to Bournemouth in the Premier League, while Thomas Tuchel's side suffered a shock 5-1 thrashing away to Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. Match preview. Worst hosts first in Tuesday's intriguing Champions League contest, where Man United require a particular set of circumstances to materialize if they are to sneak into second place behind Bayern, whose status as group winners has already been rubber-stamped. High-scoring affairs have been commonplace for the permeable Red Devils in this season's European Cup, and their trip to Galatasaray on November 29 was no different. But another calamitous collapse saw Erik ten Hag's men throw away 2-0 and 3-1 leads to draw 3-3 with the Turkish giants. A familiar sense of doom and gloom set in as Kerem Aktürkoğlu's thunderbolt sailed into the roof of the net, leaving Man United bottom of the section on 4 points and knowing that only a win will do on Tuesday if they are to prolong their adventure in Europe's premier competition. Even if the Red Devils can defy the odds, they would need Copenhagen and Galatasaray, both of whom are 1 point better off, to play out a stalemate in their contest. Otherwise, a demotion to the Europa League or complete elimination from continental football will serve to dampen the Christmas spirit even further. While Man United were briefly walking in a winter wonderland against Chelsea, Bournemouth were in dreamland at the Theatre of Dreams at the weekend, inflicting a harrowing 3-0 Premier League defeat on Ten Hag's troops to leave the Dutchman openly admitting that his side were not good enough to compete consistently at the top level. Ten Hag and his opposite number Thomas Tuchel can at least empathize with one another when it comes to recent domestic hidings, as the German champions suffered their first Bundesliga defeat of the season in incredible circumstances during Saturday's visit to Eintracht Frankfurt. A sublime finish from Joshua Kimmich was a scant consolation for the Bavarians, who had already shipped 3 goals before the Germany international curled home from the edge of the area. And Manuel Neuer's goal was breached on 2 more occasions in a Commerzbank Arena annihilation. That 5-1 crushing marked Bayern's first game since being held to an underwhelming goalless draw by Copenhagen in Group A. But having taken 12 points from their opening 4 games in the section, this week's visitors to Old Trafford are only battling to restore a much-needed sense of pride in Manchester. History suggests that an immediate fill-up could be on the cards, as Bayern are aiming to extend their unbeaten run in Champions League group stage away games to 20 matches this week. While each of their last 8 have ended in victory, both of which represent all-time bests in Europe's top competition. An engrossing 4-3 beating of Man United at the Allianz Arena in September also made it back-to-back wins for Bayern against the Red Devils, whose only success from their last 9 battles was a 3-2 Old Trafford win in April 2010, but replicating that result an unlucky 13 years later may not be enough to save their Champions League bacon this time around. Team news. The vast majority of Man United's injured contingent will not be making their returns anytime soon, as Mason Mount calf, Lisandro Martinez foot, Casemiro thigh, Tyrell Malacia knee, Christian Eriksen knee and Amad Diallo knee are expected to sit this one out, despite the latter's recent return to full training. Victor Lindelof knock will need a once-over ahead of the visit of Bayern 2. While Jadon Sancho's ostracization will not be ending anytime soon, and Marcus Rashford, who has been consigned to the bench so far this month, is back from a European ban but has been struck down with an illness alongside Anthony Martial. After such a disastrous performance at the weekend, changes in abundance will be pondered, and the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Rasmus Højlund and potentially even Raphael Varane could benefit from some much-needed rotation. As for Bayern, their Bundesliga battering at Frankfurt was an especially painful experience for Serge Gnabry, who had only been on the field for 5 minutes as a substitute before succumbing to a major strain, which will keep him sidelined for a while. Gnabry will take his place on the sidelines with Sven Ulrich ankle, Matthijs de Ligt knee, Bouna Sarr knee, Gabriel Maruzic knee and Tarek Bookman hamstring. But Man United fans cannot breathe too easy, as the ex-Arsenal winger's injury opens the door for Jamal Musiala to return to the 11. Amid links with a surprise switch to Manchester United in 2024. Thomas Muller may also strut his stuff on the Old Trafford turf for Tuchel's side, who can be expected to make a few tweaks with a first-placed finish already assured. Manchester United possible starting lineup: Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Varane, Shaw, McTominay, Mainu, Antony, Fernandes, Garnacho, Højlund. Bayern Munich possible starting lineup: Neuer, Laimer, Upamecano, Kim, Guerrero, Goretzka, Kimmich, Musiala, Muller, Sane, Kane. We say, Manchester United 1-3 Bayern Munich. After Bournemouth rained on Man United's parade at a rainy Old Trafford, the stage is ostensibly set for Bayern to prolong the Red Devils' pain on home soil, as Ten Hag's backline continue to ship goals at an alarming rate, especially in Europe. The Bavarians' defense should not emerge unscathed either, as Man United go all out for a potentially pivotal 3 points. But only one team should make amends for their humiliating defeat at the weekend, as the hosts' continental adventure comes to a premature end. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.